We'll be live.
Woo! We are here. Oh,
Yes.
and
Oh.
we're I want to say because we're at a different time. This might be different for some people. It's morning time where I'm at, so I just wanted to say we are in fact part of a blasphemous breakfast. So
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool.
have
Cool.
your cereal, have your juice, and some blasphemy.
Cool. Cool. Sounds good. That's good. Anyways, I have a video for you that I want to. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I can't talk about this. I want to make sure that I'm not being racist towards
Right.
white people.
Right.
So I was like, who do I know who's white?
Yeah.
Who I could have here, just sitting here as a token white person.
You're welcome.
So I can't be accused. Yeah. So I can just have sit next to me while I talk about it, so people can't tell me like, Armin, you're talking about white people, and you couldn't even have a white person there,
Yeah.
just to make sure that you're like people hear the sound, like a white representative, somebody that could actually add the voice of a white person there. So I was like, yeah, we need to, yeah.
Yeah, us whites, we do appreciate that, Armin, that you you stand up for us. Yeah, and I'd just like to start off by saying, as the token white guy here, I would like to start off by saying, in reference to the title, the let's say provocative title that you have chosen. I just want to say hashtag not all, you guys. Okay? So like, sure, there are some bad apples out there, bad white people, but just not all, like, so thank you, Armin, for bringing on the very underrepresented white. I'm sorry, I can't keep this going. I'm done. This is great.
Okay.
No, this will be really good. I'm very excited to see what I am responsible for in the world. Yeah. So
all right. Well, this is the video that we're gonna be discussing, and it has something to do with. I mean, it is about the war happening right now in Gaza.
Okay.
And white supremacy. I don't know how we're gonna tie this into each other. White supremacy, Israel attacking Gaza, and apparently narcissism. So
okay.
yeah, somehow all of this will tie in together.
I'm gonna say something kind of bold right now at the beginning, and I hope it doesn't get us struck or anything. I hope there are no no strikes or anything. Yeah, I know. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead and like the video just in case what I say is too controversial. I am not for white supremacy. Is that it? Can I say that? Is that okay? Is that all? Is like white supremacy is not a good thing? Is that
Wait, are you saying you're for black supremacy? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. You can think any race being superior to any other race is just bad. That's just not a good thought. Is that too much? Can we say that? Am I allowed to? Is that okay? Is that too far?
Yeah, you can do that. It's fine.
Okay.
Wait, we got a super chat. We got a super chat from Jean saying, I tried to contact Armin on Twitter, but couldn't. By the way, guys, thank you for the super chats. I will read all the super chats. Saying, I tried Instagram instead, waiting for the reply. I will check my Instagram. However, you should be able. Thank you so much for the shekels. I love shekels. Thank you so much. You should be able to. I went on Twitter at Armin Navabi. I opened my DMs. You should be able to message me on Twitter. I don't understand, guys. Can other people try this and tell me if it's working or not? Everybody should be able to message me on Twitter. I'll go later check my Instagram to see what's happening here. But thank you again for the super chat. Anyways, let's start watching this because I'm pretty sure people want to. Oh, so let me see who else is saying hello, people. No white supremacy. No, sorry guys, sorry to disappoint. And D is here, but let's watch this. Let's watch this. Let's try to be fair. If she's gonna make good points, let's try to accept that. Okay, that was a fair point. All right. By the way, this is from a TikTok account. Somebody sent this to me. Here's the context. Somebody sent this to me on Facebook. Trying to use this video because I support Israel. And I support Israel's right to defend herself. A lot of people are not liking that at all.
Yeah.
And this person who sent me this video was one of them, and this was supposed to be something that maybe changed my mind about supporting Israel.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So let's see if it works. And the video is from an account on TikTok called Erin AII. So ERINRAII. Okay. So, and this got a lot of reaction. Like, it's a big video on TikTok right now. It's making the rounds. So it's not just like a random video. It's going viral. So let's see what she's saying.
There's a reason why people are silent. There's a reason why Joe Biden is able to do everything he's doing and still sleep at night. There's a reason why people are able to defend genocide. It's narcissism. White supremacy is a byproduct of narcissism.
I mean,
so far, are you understanding this?
I mean, not entirely understanding the first little bit. Like, don't know what she means about all the things Joe Biden does and he can sleep at night. But I mean, like, yeah, I guess if in general you're just saying like the ideologies in white supremacy do have a narcissistic element to them. Well, like, yeah, that's just any superiority complex.
Right.
Like, that doesn't have anything to do with white supremacy specifically. It's just all of it. It's just every person in that category. The people in the BJP who run around talking about, you know, their own supremacy. It's like they're also narcissistic. So yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but how is this? But Biden being able to. So
that
what she's saying is that. Okay, let me tell you what's happening here. Okay, please. So they are looking at what's happening in Gaza, Israel attacking Gaza, and they're calling it a genocide. And given all the horrible pictures that are coming out of Gaza, when somebody is supporting Israel's right to defend itself, they could not understand how that makes any sense. Like, how could you see all of these horrible videos and pictures of people losing their loved ones, of children dying, coming out and say at the same time that I support Israel's right to defend themselves? They seem to be, for them, it's so obvious that this is, anybody who says that has lost their humanity, or there's something. How could they not understand something so obvious? And how could they, what they describe what's happening in Gaza as genocide, right? And like, how could you, when they see it as a given that what you're saying in Gaza needs to be condemned, and when you are not condemning that, they are trying to find a way to explain that. Like, why would their own president, for example, is supporting Israel while seeing what's happening in Gaza? Like, they're saying these people like Biden or people like me who supports Israel, we're supporting genocide, and they're trying to come up with this theory of how could somebody be so blind and just go with supporting it.
And just to be clear, you're saying all of that is the argument is that all of what you just said is through the lens of white supremacy and narcissism. Like, the reason Joe Biden isn't calling what's happening in Gaza a genocide is because of his white supremacy and narcissism. Is that, I just want to make sure that you're saying, you're trying to steel man this argument, and you're saying that's what you think it is.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not steelmanning it at all. There's this, I can't steelman this argument. I'm going to try, but I think I would fail to. But I'm just trying to explain. I'm just explaining what she's trying to say, right?
Okay.
But here's the thing: her understanding of her understanding of what's going on is very, very poor, right? And he doesn't understand, for example, that Joe Biden is pressuring Israel for humanitarian aid coming in.
Oh my gosh.
For less aggression on Gaza, for more observers to be there to make sure Israel is holding back, to allow, reduce the bombardments, for allow windows of time for aid. And
they just agreed to a 4-day ceasefire. They just agreed to a 4-day ceasefire because Joe Biden was a part of the process. Like, yeah,
And the thing is that no country would be able to force Israel to do such a thing other than the United States, right? If United States was
absolutely.
not if United States was not being right now an ally to Israel, a lot more Palestinians would die.
Oh yeah.
One of the main reasons, so you see all these casualties and all these deaths in Gaza, it would be a lot worse if United States was not a supporter of Israel. It's United States pressure that makes a lot of these. So if you want to thank anybody for less Palestinians dying, the main person you need to thank right now, because anybody else is just complaining and has no influence. The main person that is pressuring Israel and actually has influence is Joe Biden. Again, I'm not endorsing everything that Joe Biden. No, I'm not endorsing everything that Joe Biden does.
Yeah,
but
at least
Joe
he's
Biden
doing all right here.
Saving, yeah, exactly. Joe Biden is actually saving a lot of Palestinian lives, but I guess no, he's a white supremacist narcissist.
He's a white supremacist narcissist. Yep, there you go, guys. No,
yeah.
I just real quick, I wanted to Waldo. Thanks for being here since you're new. Do they support Palestine or Israel? Surprisingly, not a dichotomy. Not a dichotomy there. You can
I don't understand the order.
Yeah.
I don't understand the order.
Yeah.
Why do you have to put an order? Why can't you be we support Israel and Palestine?
You could support both very easily. But in case you're wondering, definitely do not support Hamas. Like if that needs to be said, because apparently I guess it does somewhere.
And definitely do not support Netanyahu or Likud.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like exactly.
Or
again, like even more nuance. Yeah. Like, come on, guys. Anyway.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But let's continue.
So Biden's a narcissist. Got it.
Yeah, so she will go into detail about what she's
doing and still sleep at night. There's a reason why people are able to defend genocide. It's narcissism. White supremacy is a byproduct of narcissism. I made a little Venn diagram that's a circle because there are no differences between white supremacy and narcissism. First, we have the tragic victim complex.
It's not a Venn diagram. I just want to explain that. It's not a Venn diagram. If it's a circle, that's literally counter to the definition of a Venn diagram. Not that that's the most important thing. But white supremacy is not just strictly narcissism. Like it's not. Narcissism is an aspect of it. Yes, of course. But there are lots of other.
Black supremacy.
I mean, right. I know. Again, it's across the board.
Black supremacy, Arab supremacy, Jewish supremacy, Persian supremacy, Kurdish supremacy,
surprisingly,
Japanese supremacy. They're all like, why are you
across the board is bad? Like, surprisingly, in case anybody needs to know that. Like, yes.
Right. And I mean, why would you, from all narcissistic ideologies, why are you signaling out white supremacy? Seems pretty narcissistic of you to white. White
people are responsible for all the badness in the world. Don't you know this?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. I'm sorry.
You heard this? It's true.
Yeah,
been trying to atone. Just keep that going.
By the way, I forgot to mention about the whole use of the word genocide, which is a very inaccurate term here, because I think a lot of people, when I say what's happening in Gaza is not genocide, a lot of these idiots think that I'm saying like, oh, that means that's okay, that's great, okay, right? That I'm like, oh my god, it's not a genocide. That means like, oh my god, Armin, children are dying. I'm like, yes, it's obviously a tragedy. Then why are you not calling it a genocide? Because it's not genocide.
Right.
Like, oh, wow. How could you see the pictures of also all the civilians dying and not call it a genocide? Well, because it doesn't meet the definition of genocide. It's not, I mean, they think I'm endorsing, they think I'm like saying like, yay, innocent people are dying because what's happening doesn't meet the definition of genocide. They think I'm like cheering for it or I'm okay with it. I don't understand. Yeah.
They have no reference. They have no reference of like a scale of bad things. Like it doesn't have to be the most extreme, atrocious thing you can do for it to still be bad. Okay. Like guys, we have something called murder, where you intend to kill somebody. We also have a thing called like manslaughter, where you do it by accident. Guess what? Both are bad. Both are bad. Murder is worse. We can say this death wasn't murder and still say it was a bad thing. It's amazing how that can happen, you know? Like there can be more than one bad thing in the world.
But I mean, here's the thing: the term genocide doesn't even talk about the severity of how bad it is. Okay, you could kill one.
It's an
Yeah,
intention.
you could kill. Yeah, it's about the intention. You could kill one person, and it's be a genocide, and you could kill 100,000 people and not be a genocide.
That's true.
And I'm not saying that one person is worse. Obviously, the 100,000 person is worse than killing the one person. Even though the 100,000 one was not a genocide, it's obviously worse than the one person that was a genocide. So the genocide, it's not based on the numbers. It's not based on how many people are dying that you call it a genocide or not. It's based on the intention of the attack, based on the intention of the taking of life. Are you trying to wipe out an ethnicity, for example? Are you trying to wipe out an ethnicity, or do you have a different reason? So again, every time I say this is not a genocide, people think I'm downplaying how severe and how horrible and how tragic this is, which is unbelievable. Yeah. Let's continue.
Which we're seeing loud and clear every single day on this app.
Yeah, exactly. Seed of Iblis is saying Hamas's intent is genocide. Yeah. So I could call what Hamas did in Israel, that was genocide. Okay. Even though there were less numbers, because we know their intention is to wipe out the Jews. So that was genocide. But yeah.
Would you say genocidal? Not genocide, not a genocide, but instead genocidal.
Like that would be a bit,
because they weren't able to go fully through with it, right?
Yes, but genocidal would be more accurate.
But it is their intention, right? I think that's important.
Exactly.
I know that's a small distinction, but I think it's important.
Yes, exactly. So Emma is saying it was intended genocide. They failed. It was a failure. So genocide will be good. I understand. Good. That's a better use of the word. Anyways,
diagram. That's a circle because there are no differences between white supremacy and narcissism. First, we have the tragic victim complex, which we're seeing loud and clear every single day on this app. White people make themselves the victim because when you're a victim, you don't have to be held accountable for the oppressor's actions. This is done.
White people make themselves. I mean, you speaking about white people as a whole, okay, like that kind of makes me feel like it's a little. I mean, it's very bad.
Yeah,
you know, white people.
Not great. Just change out the race there, folks. Do it in your mind. Just change that race out. Change that group out to any other group in your mind, and then it instantly feels bad, doesn't it? Doesn't it just feel weird? You know,
right? But there's two things that is wrong with this. First, the generalization of all white people, right? Yeah. Two is what you mean by a victim complex. Like, are they because do you consider any in display, like if we actually show you that you're saying something wrong about white people, like it is us responding to what you're saying, is that because then you could describe everything, any response to all the claims that you're making as victim complex,
which we're seeing byproduct of narcissism. I made a little Venn diagram that's a circle because there are no differences between white supremacy and narcissism. First, we have the tragic victim complex, which we're seeing loud and clear every single day on this app. White people make themselves the victim because.
So white people make themselves the victim. The thing, the way they use this is that if you respond to this, they will see that as a confirmation of what they're saying. Because if you come and say like, okay, that's generalizing of white people, like, oh, there you go. See? That proves my point. You're the victim. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't like what I'm saying. You're crying about it. So you can't even respond. So they say something. It's like, oh, you guys make yourself look like the victim. And as soon as you respond to it, as soon as you want to challenge it, they're like, okay, you just proved my point. Do you understand?
Yeah. You're sure.
Acting
it's
like
a no-win situation.
Yeah. But again, pointing out that you are being unfair. This is where people like us, when we come in, they can't do that, because if you say, if Secular Rarity says like, well, you're generalizing white people, they will make fun of you. They're like, oh my god, after histories and generations of white people wronging other people, now we're trying to call them out on their BS, and he can't take it. He has to be the victim. So when I come in here and say, well, this is nonsense, they call me either an Uncle Tom or
which
white
is
passing.
which is
Right.
which is really bad. Like, which
Right.
is just a really terrible thing. Like, and I cannot believe. Yeah, it just, yeah, stuff like that is always really upsetting. It's like, my gosh, man, like you're trying real
Are you
hard.
upset? Are you upset?
I mean, yeah,
Is it-
I am upset, Armin.
Do you feel like a victim now because of the words that you're hearing? Is that
I
what you're
do
saying?
actually.
Okay,
I
so
do
that's
feel like
because you're
I
a white
am a
supremacist.
victim.
You're a white supremacist. The fact that you're
Oh,
upset,
shoot.
you don't understand how much black people and Arabs and everybody else suffered. And now you're just hearing this woman speak, and you say it's upsetting. Can you even, like,
Wow.
how dare you compare?
Wow.
These are just words, and you are upset with words, even though
Wow.
black people and Arabs and Muslims had to suffer so much for history, and you can't even hear what she has to say without getting upset. You
Armin,
always have to put yourself in the center and act like the victim here. That's what's happening here.
Armin, I just wow, that's a lot. I gotta go think about
just
this.
brought you.
I know. This is pretty intense, man. This is pretty intense. My whole world is crumbling right now. For so long, I thought,
Yeah.
wow, I don't know. I gotta
Okay.
go
think about it.
I gotta go do some culturally white things to make myself feel better. Like, I don't know, eat some cheese or dance poorly. I don't know. What are we white people?
Hey, that's also racist. By the way, actually, let me talk about that. Okay, I know you're joking. Okay, but white people dance pretty well. Actually, a lot of great dances were invented by white people. Right. All right. So. And also, when it comes to food, I don't understand why people say white people don't have good food. I mean, the most famous food in the world are French food, Italian food, right? Greek food. Those are all what, like, that's actually the number one famous food. Like, it's French. I mean, French people are mostly white. Yeah. I think. Okay, so I think that's also racist. Okay, so let's.
There are no different.
Don't worry, white people. I'm here to protect you against.
That's right.
Given that, if you try to defend yourself, these people will say like, "Oh my God, the victim complex." So I'm here to save you. Don't worry, I got you back.
You're our white savior, Armin. That's what you.
That was perfect. That was good. That was perfect. But yeah, no. But every time I say these things, I'm either called an Uncle Tom or white passing. They're like, okay, you're saying this because even though you're not technically not white, your skin is bright enough to be white passing. So you're defending white people because you're hoping that they will let you in as a fellow white in their club, and that's why you're saying these things. That's what I'm told, apparently.
Did you get like a stamp or a booklet or something? Like,
somebody... like, well, Armin is technically like he could be kind of like us. I mean, his origins are questionable, but he's light skinned. So
I mean,
that's why,
disregard the fact.
Like, no. They tell me like, oh, Armin is like, oh, my masters, look at me, I'm defending you. Please accept me. Like, please let me in. Like, I could be a good thing, uncle. That's what they accuse me of, basically.
Yeah, Armin, you're basically white. You just want all the white people to rally around you and say you're one of them. They just disregard those white supremacists. They just disregard the constant mentions of your Persian heritage and whatnot. Like, yeah, screw all that. We're fine with it.
That's why I have you here, by the way. I'm having you here for you to approve my efforts, so I can have this as a white person telling me approving my work,
okay.
so I could get.
I didn't realize
accepted.
you were trying to officially register. Hang on, I'm just gonna bring up the form on my other screen, and I'll actually start checking off the boxes as you accomplish the necessary requirements to be considered white. Let me work on that for you guys.
Am I doing good, Master? Are you
You're
satisfied? Is this good?
I was about to just instinctively answer, and then I was like, "That's not a good look. That's not a good look."
All right, let's continue. Let's continue this.
Differences between white supremacy and narcissism. First, we have the tragic victim complex, which we're seeing loud and clear every single day on this app. White people make themselves the victim because when you're a victim, you don't have to be held accountable for the oppressor's actions. This is done both globally and interpersonally. Like, we are seeing propaganda from the Israeli government to make us believe that they are the victim, even though they are obviously not.
So she is okay. Real quick, when she first said this, when she first said that the tragic victim complex, in the back of my mind, I was like, is she gonna connect this to Israel? Is she about to make this direct comparison to the Israeli people right now? Because
yes,
just in case anybody's unsure, okay? Just in case anybody hasn't been paying attention. Little over a month and a half ago, out of nowhere, right? A bunch of genocidal people showed up, murdered civilians, Israeli civilians, kidnapped women and children and elderly, and are still holding them hostage with the intent from the beginning, not only to indiscriminately slaughter as many people as possible, but just to continue doing that until all Jewish people are dead. So, if you're then going to say Israel's playing the victim card, that's a little fucking gross, in my opinion. That's a little bit gross.
Let's chill on the swear words. So
I'm sorry.
But no, you know, like burning children alive. Okay,
Holy
if
crap.
you mention that, that's the victimhood complex. By the way, it's amazing how she's lumping in Israelis with white people.
Yeah.
So white people being the oppressors in history, for you to lumping Jewish people in that group because of their color of their skin, even though Jewish people are the most discriminated group in the world, and the hatred against Jewish people is deep-rooted and ancient. It's literally the oldest form of bigotry that is still alive, right? And it's worldwide. And then for you to just lump that into white people, and because they're white, consider their victimhood part of a victimhood complex.
Right.
I mean, you are out of your mind. You're out of touch with reality.
Yeah.
To dismiss the mass level of discrimination that exists against Jewish people worldwide because of the color of their skin. This is literally skin deep analysis. The fact that the color of their skin makes you ignore all the discrimination and oppression of Jewish people throughout history because of the color of their skin. I don't know how much more insane your analysis has to be, but yeah, go on.
No, total. I mean, 100%. And it just shows a complete lack of understanding of not only white supremacy historically worldwide, but like currently, especially in like organizational form. Do you know who the KKK really doesn't like? Jews. They're very anti-Semitic, as are pretty much every other white supremacist group ever. Because, like, guess who they don't consider to be white? Jewish people. Like, they don't care. They like that's so it just it's very bad analysis so far, I'll say. That's,
I mean, exactly. To lump in Jewish people with white supremacists who hate Jewish people is unbelievable analysis.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't get a pass, just in case you're wondering. The KKK doesn't go like, oh, black person, no, we don't like you. Brown person, we don't like you. White looking person, oh, you're fine. Oh no, you're Jewish. Oh no, we don't like you. Like, that's how they feel. It's a part of their freaking
Right.
ideology. So, but
Yeah, and Spaceless saying, "How dare these people who have been victimized act like they have been?" Exactly, perfectly put, perfectly put. And also, somebody else mentioned about the I lost it in the light chat. Somebody else was mentioning Mizrahi Jews. At least half of Israel is Mizrahi, right? Which are Middle Eastern, right? Not European, and not that that matters. Not that that matters. I don't care about that.
But it kind of
Whether
does
you
for the
came from
white
but
supremacy argument, right?
yes, it does. Like, these are half of Israel's population are Jews from the Middle East, not from Europe. So based on your ideology and white
They're
supremacist
white
ideology,
passing.
which are yeah. No, but it's interesting how it crumbles based on her ideology and white supremacist ideology, which makes me think like her ideology and white supremacist ideology are very close to each other, as in they are both skin deep. You know, the fact that she cares so much about people's skin color and white supremacists care so much about white people, their own skin color, to me makes you both more in the same camp of people that have this level of analysis, but that's just me. Anyways, let's continue with this.
Women tears. Next, we have lack of empathy. This is how some people are able to watch a genocide on their phones and somehow victim, even though they are obviously not. We also see this with white women tears. Next, we have lack of empathy. This is how some people are able to watch a genocide on their phones and somehow go about their normal lives and stay silent and say it's complex. It is because they lack empathy.
Oh, it's not because it's complex. It's because they lack empathy. Like we see children dying, and we were like, "Yeah, who cares? Children die." That's what we think. Apparently, it's not because you don't understand the complexities of what's happening, and we do. It's because you just have to. You know what this sounds like to me? It sounds like religious people and the idea of God did it as an explanation for everything in life, because it's more simple. People like this and her audience like simple answers, because if global politics are complex, it's hard to understand. It requires work. It requires nuance. And that's hard. Thinking is hard, ladies and gentlemen. Thinking is hard. Wouldn't it be better if somebody like her came and told her audience, it's just simple. These people lack empathy. You don't need to understand the details. It's just that they don't have empathy. I mean, like, it makes it easy, and you could just consume your news without doing much thinking, without doing much analysis, and the world is explaining. Now everything is understandable. What do you think?
Well, I wish I could. I wish I could take your point, Armin, but unfortunately, as a white person, I'm unable to empathize with what you're saying.
Oh yeah, okay.
It was a really good point. It was a really good point, but it's hard for me to internalize that and bring that. No, I think I think that's a fair, that's a fair shot, and let's take it fairly. Let's agree, there's a lack of empathy. I would just disagree about which side it's on. I seem to find there are a lot of people that are super duper empathetic for Palestinian civilians, but surprisingly not so for Jewish civilians, the Israeli civilians. That's weird for me. That's odd for me that somebody would go, look at all the Palestinians that have died. And I go, yeah, I think it's terrible that I think it's horrible that Hamas uses human shields. I think that's very disgusting. That's a horrible tactic. And they go, yeah, Israel sucks. And I go, oh, are you not bummed out by the 1,400 people that were slaughtered in one night by a genocidal group of people that just came in and indiscriminately killed women and children and elderly? Is that not?
No, that's victimhood complex.
That's
victimhood complex.
Shit. I'm sorry. I'm trying. I can't empathize. That's the problem.
They were white. They were white. If you talk about white people being killed and RAPE and burned alive, if you mention that, that's obviously victimhood complex. It's not that she seems to not have sympathy for Jewish children, Jewish children who died by Hamas. It's not that. It's you having victimhood complex.
Okay. Okay.
Isn't it ironic though that isn't it ironic that she tells other people don't have sympathy, but she's the one who's dismissing,
Well, so that's what I was
Israelis
gonna.
talking about the fact that their
That's what I
children
was
were
gonna
killed
say.
as victim of
That's what I
couple.
was-
It seems like
that's
she's
what I
the
was
one
gonna
who
say.
doesn't have the sympathy here.
I was
Maybe I'm
gonna.
wrong here. I don't know. Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
it has to be that the Israeli civilians are white supremacist, victimhood complex narcissist, because otherwise, the argument that she's making would be hypocritical. Yeah, it has
Right.
to be that the Israelis are just a bunch of white supremacist narcissists. Yeah, because otherwise she would have to care about the Israelis that were slaughtered indiscriminately by a genocidal, horrible organization of people, like, who use human shields. Like, otherwise you'd have
Yeah.
to deal with that, and that's difficult. So,
Right.
yeah.
Anyways, let's go
And
on.
as we are all being indoctrinated into white supremacy, one of the first things it does is it attacks our empathy. It's also wild to watch how whiteness has more empathy for fictional characters, celebrities, dogs than they do for Palestinians. Next is
Whiteness has more sympathy for
What the-
whiteness has more
what?
sympathy for dog. Yeah.
For
I'm not
who? What dog? Like, I mean, Airbud's pretty cool. That was a movie like back in the early 2000s or like late 90s. Like, but like, I don't care about that dog anywhere close to I care about
I care about
just
dogs.
children. No, I like dogs. I care about dogs, but I'm saying like that was a movie about a dog that played basketball, and like it was a great movie.
Did you
but...
think SR, did you think that today you would hear the sentence whiteness cares more about dogs than Palestinians?
I didn't think I'd ever hear a sentence like that, Armin. I didn't think not just today. It wasn't just like this morning on my calendar. Like, no, that's such a weird statement. I don't understand it.
Whiteness.
Like,
the fact that they're calling it, isn't that, am I being am I
just the color white?
Is this not racist to say whiteness cares more about celebrities than Palestinians? Does that
feels kind of racist?
Am I being?
It feels kind of racist
because I told the person that I sent this to, and she said that I'm gaslighting her. I mean, technically, me say so. Here's what I said. I like that's so racist. So okay, so here's what the person that sent this to me. I responded to her on Facebook, and I said, "Wow, this woman is so racist against white people, crazy." Yeah. And she responded to me, "The whites are racist against browns and blacks. Let's see the whole picture."
The whites.
I mean, when you say the whites, like you're talking about, the whites are racist. Isn't the sentence "the whites are racist" racist?
So
is that not racist? Am I being stupid?
No,
here?
this is what you do. No, you're spot on. This is what you do. Is you just take the word whites and you insert other groups. That's what I'm saying, folks. You just say the blacks, the Jews, the Arabs, and then you instantly go, oh my God, wait a second. That's bad. That's a bad thought. That's a bad thought. Don't have that thought. Don't say that thought. That's bad. Yeah, just swap out the groups, you guys. And if it doesn't work with the other groups, it doesn't work with the whites. Like, I think it's pretty simple.
I told her this when she told me that the whites are racist. I responded to her saying, "That's so." Yeah. I said that exactly. I said that's so racist to say, and she responded to that. That's gaslighting. Is it gaslighting, or is it the very definition of the word racist? That's the very definition of the word racist.
So this is the problem. Is so many very important words and concepts have just been thrown around on TikTok so much now that a lot of people don't know what they mean. So gaslighting is
gaslighting. I think she's gaslighting me.
So
using the word.
Now she's just wrong. So gaslighting is specifically when you tell somebody that they are incorrect about their memories and experiences because they are crazy. You have to, it has to be the whole thing. It's just like genocide. Like, just because you kill a bunch of people that are in the same ethnicity doesn't mean it's genocide. You have to be like, I want to get rid of this group. then that's why
Mhm.
genocide is difficult to prove internationally. That's why it takes so
Un-
long for
Unless you're
international.
Hamas and you actually have it in your statements, that
Oh,
will
well,
make it
that, yeah, I
easier.
mean, well, okay, yeah, I mean, that's a
Yeah.
huge glaring exception that I hope everybody
Yes.
continues to remember, but apparently not. But yeah, I mean, like, again, like, what's going on here is just racist language, just racist thought, and
Right.
and then just trying to pretend like, nah, it's cool. Whites have been racist. And it's like, well, okay,
Right.
so there have been white people that are racist. There are currently white
So
people that are racist. But like, do you see why it's a bad idea to just go all white people racist?
right.
Like,
So you're telling me that this
mhm,
person that sent this to me, just like she did, just using the word genocide without knowing
right.
what it means, they're also using the word gaslighting without knowing what it means. They're
And
just like
probably the
using
word
these
racist without
buzzwords.
knowing what it means.
They were
Yeah,
racist
probably
without knowing
all
what
of
it
them.
means. They just
Yeah.
throw these words around and like, okay.
It's kind of like when you say
All right,
quantum when you talk about God. That just answers
right.
everything.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We need to finish this
Yeah,
video
yeah.
because I have another stream. I have another stream coming up on the Persian channel, guys. So after the English channel, I go of Atheist Republic. I go then do a stream on the Persian channel of Atheist Republic called Jamhuriya Bi Khodayan. So I'm trying to do 2 streams back to back every day. So
That's
see
a
how
lot.
long that lasts. Yeah. All right. Let's
Of
continue.
entitlement. Both white supremacy and narcissism makes you feel entitled to land, money, comfort. The result of whiteness not receiving.
I think everybody is entitled to should be entitled
Yeah.
to comfort. I mean,
Yeah.
so I mean,
And
I'm
again,
hoping,
like,
yeah.
all of this applies to
These are-
everything else. Like, have you
I mean,
ever heard of, like, it's just weird. It's like every group that thinks they're superior like this is like, yeah, and that's our land. Like, not only are we better than you because of the color of our skin, but that's our land that you're on. Like, this is just true for every group. This isn't like specific to white
I
supremacy.
mean, it was true for mostly more true again, not all even back then, okay? But if she wants to generalize like this, technically all the lands that the Arabs are on was taken by force
Oh my
through
God,
the Arab
empire.
invasion.
Oh my
The
God,
Arab
empires.
Empire. Yeah. So in fact, if you look around the region, there are more land that were taken by force by Arab empires
I wonder why they
than
took that
land.
land though. I wonder if it was
They were
because
they felt that they were entitled to the land, maybe because of the
they
religion.
were superior to the
Oh
other
yes,
people that were.
right. Yeah,
Huh.
right. That is actually
Huh.
the case. Yeah. So I notice how she doesn't see that. Notice how she doesn't see that every Arabic country, there's one Jewish country, which is Israel. There is 22 Arab countries.
Right.
Out of these 22 Arab countries, only one of them were Arabs were living there, which is Saudi Arabia. The rest, the 21 Arab countries, they became Arab because the Arab Empire took that land by force. So how is she seeing that one Jewish country and she's not noticing the 21 Arab country that the land where there was taken by force? I don't know.
It's just narcissism on your part, Armin. Just stop being such a narcissist.
Yeah. All right, let's continue.
Receiving what they feel entitled to, it ends up deadly in so many situations because they feel entitled to power. They feel entitled to land. They will commit genocides to get land. That's the heritage of whiteness. Next is the bread and butter tool of narcissism, which is gaslighting. We're obviously seeing this with propaganda. We're seeing this with celebrities. It's interesting because celebrities spend a lot of time establishing power. Then when important things happen, they pull back and act as if they do not have power to change or influence. They spend their lives trying to gain influence, and the moment we need them to actually use that influence, suddenly they don't have it. A post won't change the world. They're on this app seeing what's happening.
I mean, is that gaslighting?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I was hoping she was going to actually get back to the word she used, but that is in no way, shape, or form what gaslighting is. Like, that's just nonsensical. Like, what she's talking about is more akin to hypocrisy, but not even then. It's probably more along the lines of cowardice is what she's trying to argue. She's saying, why do these white celebrities go through the effort of gaining all this notoriety when in particularly important moments they don't use it, right? And so that would be more akin to coward. Like she should do the Ali Dawa, you coward, you're not talking about Palestinian lives, you coward. Like that's what she should be doing right now, but instead she's just using a term that she thinks sounds cool. But that is not gaslighting, not in the slightest. Like just go look it up, guys. It's a psychological term. It's based on a play.
Yeah. So Animation gave us a super chat saying Hindu monk Amok Leela once said that Brahmins are fair-skinned because they descend from gods, and Shudras are dark because they descend from demons. Yeah, pretty colorist, I would say.
Yeah. And that's what that is. It's colorist. That's not white supremacy.
Yes.
That's colorist, which is just a gross racist thing. Like,
right. Yeah, I don't bigot. Yeah, I don't know if it's racist. Maybe.
Yeah,
bigoted. Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
happening with our own eyes, and then our influence. In the moment we need them to actually use that influence, suddenly they don't have it. A post won't change the world. We're on this app, seeing what's happening with our own eyes, and then our government officials are telling us that what we're seeing isn't real. Even Joe Biden is trying to plant seeds of doubt around how many Palestinians have been unalived. They are doing whatever they can.
Wait, what?
I don't know. There's so much going on. One, like, what U.S. official, just anybody, which person has said, hey, what you're seeing happening right now in Gaza is actually not happening? Who said that? I truly don't know, first off. And then second off, like, if she's criticizing the individuals who are skeptical about the number of dead civilians in Palestine right now, in Gaza right now, like, you know where those numbers are coming from, right? You know the history. They come from Hamas. Like, so if you're not skeptical of those numbers, you're just not an honest interlocutor in this conversation. Like, we know that Hamas inflates the numbers on purpose. We have evidence of this. We know groups do this all the time. Like, that's what you do. You go, oh my God, you killed 10,000 children. And then it comes out that you killed 1,000 children. Guess what? The 1,000 dead children is still bad. Still bad. You can still condemn that, but it's not the 10,000 propaganda number that you're using. So as to
don't know, actually. We don't, the numbers might be accurate. The numbers might not be accurate. There might be even more. We don't know exactly. I mean, it's fair to use them, but you have to be very skeptical. It's also fair to be skeptical about them. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, so Shikha is saying Brahmins are white because we don't do manual labor. I think that might not be accurate, Shikha. Yeah. I just double checked. I got this information. The perception that Brahmins are more white is a misconception and is not scientifically accurate. Skin color varies widely among all ethnic and social groups in India, including Brahmins, due to a complex mix of genetic, geographic, and environmental factors. It's important. Okay, so I don't know if this is accurate, and I also we shouldn't even care. Like, this doesn't matter, right? Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it has to do with melanin in the skin, not how much work you do.
I mean, there is something to be said about the fact that if you work outside more often,
you get more tan, but like,
not like it. I think that's what she was referring to. It's because of Shudras are more likely to do manual labor, being exposed more to the sun, and that's why. Anyway, let's continue.
Our government officials are telling us that what we're seeing isn't real. Even Joe Biden is trying to plant seeds of doubt around how many Palestinians have been unalived. They are
seeds of doubts are a good thing. That's called being skeptical. That's not a bad thing.
Doing whatever they can to make us doubt what's real, what's actually happening.
Where is your evidence? How do you know for sure? I mean, the sources that you're talking about is Hamas, which is the same source that told us that Israel just bombed a hospital and killed 500 people, and later on we realized that was wrong. Right. So How do you know? How are you so sure that you're right? I mean, it's good to be skeptical. It's good to be skeptical.
And white supremacy carried out around how many Palestinians have been unalived. They are doing whatever they can to make us doubt what's real, what's actually happening. Both narcissism and white supremacy cares so much about image. This is why all of our white friends who were BLM are silent. This is why they cared more about.
I don't think that's why. I don't think that's why. Was it
all
Chicago?
Of our white yeah, all of our white friends that were doing the BLM are now silent. But go on. But I want to say something about this.
I just wanted to say I don't know. I don't know that reason is necessarily narcissism. I do believe it was the Chicago BLM that posted a picture like on October 8th of a frickin' paraglider saying we stand with Palestine and then double down on that. So I don't know. I think just some of those people that were supporters of BLM just kind of in mass have maybe rethought some of that. So
right. I just want to take this opportunity to point out to people who support people like this as it will never be good enough. You know, if you don't go all in on their BS, if you don't go all in, they will condemn you as evil. So if you think like, oh my God, I want to be a good person, I want to support some of their causes, it's either submit all the way to this wokeism or nothing at all. This is like Islam. It's total submission. It's required what is required. So if you think like maybe I could satisfy them by giving in to some of their demands and some of their listen to some of their grievances, what I've noticed time and time again with woke ideology is that, you know, if you don't completely submit, they will eventually turn on you. So think about that before you try to. I mean, a lot of people notice that. A lot of people that welcome some of this ideology a little bit into their organization or into the group, they saw how self-destructive it is, and eventually they will come for your throat unless you give them everything.
Yeah, it's weird. It's almost like it's something similar to I've heard individuals say is the problem when it comes to like bringing people into another community and trying to assimilate them. They say, oh, you know, the white people just, unless you fully embrace being white, you know, they won't let you into their group. And no matter how many concessions you give, it's almost like that, but just on the other side. Yeah, it's almost like bigotry has no color. It just kind of sees all people equally as hateable.
Oh, Secular Sakai just used his 19-month membership to be sure to link the new PayPal in the description. Yes, Susanna, do you want to? I should actually change the template of the description to include that link. So let me know, Susanna, if you want me to do that. So I hope she's hearing it. By the way, guys, look into the description as a ways to support us, please. That we. Through our PayPal, we're doing a fundraising campaign. So thank you so much, Secular Sakai, for reminding everybody about that. Anyways, let's continue.
Appearing good to you than actually caring about BLM. They cared more about appearing woke than actually being safe for Black and brown people to be around. They care more about how they look than how you feel. It is everything.
Some white people, I'm not gonna lie, there are some white people that do that. I'm not disagreeing. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing.
But I don't like how she's just
just all whiteness.
It.
Yeah, just all whiteness. That's what. Yeah, that's at the core of it. Again, we're narcissists. What can we do? You know?
Yeah. I mean, we can't really blame you if you're not. If your whiteness brings narcissism, then can we really blame you? You can't help it. Like you know.
Yeah, I'm basically just a sociopath, and so like you know, my brain's broken. My brain's broken because I'm white. That's just what we're learning, folks.
To them, they want to be perceived as good, and not being perceived as good feels like hell. They don't want to post what's happening because they don't want to be controversial. They don't want to get in trouble. They want to look good. This is why they rewrite history. They want to be remembered as good, even when they weren't good. You're an American at all, you know how our politicians occasionally do nice things to gain approval. Politicians love to do this. It's like we're asking for one thing, but you give us the other thing that's not quite the thing that we wanted. But at least
it's not quite the thing that we wanted. So it's all in, or we will not appreciate it. Even if you come halfway and give us some of the things that will actually alleviate pain and reduce misery, and maybe, no, if it's not everything that we want, you're just doing that to look good. That's exactly what I'm saying. They want everything or nothing at all. Nothing would be appreciated unless you submit completely to their ideology.
It's just so weird. Like, guys, we can celebrate whatever small steps in the right direction we've made, and also be like, we have more work to do. It's just so weird. Like, why can't people see that those are not incompatible statements? You go, hey, thank goodness we're not where we used to be. And then you say, by the way, we got to get there. Like, it's strange to me. Why do people not see
You're
that?
evil. You're what is
Okay.
The reason why you didn't come
right.
all the way is because you lack sympathy, and all of this is just for show. Any help that you do, any good thing. So people, don't be tricked by white people doing good things. Okay? Don't be tricked. They don't care about anything. They just want to look good. So if white people do good things, that's actually out of their evilness, not out of their sympathy.
It's a scam. It's a scam to get you to trust them, so that they can gaslight you and colonize you. I see. That's right. That's true. That's true, though. I brought my neighbor's cookies the other day.
Inherently evil. How could that be a good thing? You're white. You're inherently evil. If you do something nice to somebody, it's obvious it can be explained by you trying to look good.
In fairness, though, I do have more of the driveway now. So I used to only have like half of the driveway. Now I have about 3/4 of the driveway since I brought those cookies. So, I mean,
and he told us, and he told us, so that's obviously just so that we notice how you do good things. It's all for show. It's all for show.
All for show.
Yeah. White people can be good. White people can have sympathy. They're narcissists.
I'm gonna lose my white card if I keep this up. Oh god.
Something, and we're supposed to be happy.
I mean, who needs a white card? People need black cards. White cards are useless.
Approval. Politicians love to do this. It's like we're asking for one thing, but you give us the other thing that's not quite the thing that we wanted. But at least it's something, and we're supposed to be happy with the something. And they use that to paint their legacy. Like when I criticize Trump, people will say, well, Trump got his stimulus checks. It's like, I'm glad that we got those.
Are you joking? Are you kidding me? Holy crap. That is the dumbest freaking take on Trump's presidency. Like, if these are the people that she's talking to, no wonder her arguments are so garbage, because she is talking to the bottom of the barrel of intelligence. Like, if you were having a conversation with anybody and you criticize Trump's presidency and their response is, but he got us stimulus checks, you can confidently walk away knowing that that individual absolutely does not have any knowledge on the situation. That is the least important thing about that. Good God, that's oh my God, I'm sorry. That just really makes me mad.
Why? Give us the context. Why?
Because there is so much more that went on during Trump's presidency that has ramifications for decades. The things that he did and the precedents that he set based on his actions absolutely went against, in some cases, 100 years worth of American presidential and electoral history. And the fact that she would use that example as a legitimate response to her criticism, as a way to be like, see, they're just a bunch of narcissists. They're just a bunch of white supremacists. No, those people are idiots. Those people are idiots. Go actually talk to intelligent people, and then you can have... Go ahead.
So here's the thing. I hate Trump and his administration and all the things that he did a lot of the cost that he has for the United States and the world cannot be fixed for decades to come, right? But what saying that, there are three things that Trump did that I think are the only good things he has done.
Oh,
I mean,
sure.
so the only three things was Qasem Soleimani, taking out Qasem Soleimani,
Sure.
the Abrahamic Accord, and Operation Vortex, which got the vaccines out really, really fast, right?
Yeah, with all of that,
So,
all good things.
Yeah. So I just acknowledge that those are good things, even though I hate the guy and hate his policies,
Right.
and I think that he's a disaster for global politics and United States as a whole. I can acknowledge that. And I guess like the stimulus checks, the reason why she's noticing that is because a lot of people notice that they got money from the guy.
Sure.
So they're like, oh, that's nice, right? So a lot
That
of
is-
people, maybe even, I mean, you can't be getting money, right? So a lot of woke people were like, who hate Trump, I think she noticed some of them were like, oh my God, I got like money in the mail signed by
Right.
Trump. So they're like, okay, how do I resolve the mixed feelings?
Must be a great guy.
So that's
Must be.
So I think she's addressing that. But do you
But
agree
dumb.
that? Yeah,
that's a
dumb.
dumb comment, right? That's a dumb statement
Yeah.
from those people, and to use that to try to pretend that that is like legitimate response, in my opinion, is just bottom of the barrel argumentation. That's what we're seeing this entire. You said earlier that her arguments are literally skin deep, and that's exactly
Right.
it. They are just surface
Yeah.
level. There is nothing of substance here, and it's just frustrating that she seems to be presenting this as if it is very well thought out and nuanced, when in reality it is just the dumbest takes every single time. Like it's just frustrating that would be. It was just frustrating that that's what she used as an example. Like,
right. So we got one super chat from Secular Sakai saying, "Make a disclaimer for YouTube." And, oh yeah, this is all sarcasm, guys.
Yes.
This was like when I was like talking about white people in general, and we're just making fun of her arguments. It's all sarcasm. YouTube, this is just sarcasm. We are against all form of generalization of entire groups of people.
Yes.
And we also got another. Thank you, Secular Sakai, for worrying about the channel. LF is saying many Muslims in X, meaning Twitter, think that Elon is pro-Hamas or Palestine. I wish he had condemned Hamas openly. Do you think he's doing enough to combat anti-Semitism on X? I mean, he literally just contributed to it, like recently. It was yesterday or something, or 2 days ago.
Yeah,
he literally just endorsed a major anti-Semitic ideology. I mean, he endorsed the Jewish question. Did you see that?
Yeah, he got called out by Congress for it, is what I saw. So, and no, he's not doing enough to combat anti-Semitism or misinformation. He's not doing enough for any of that. Yeah,
I don't need him to combat it. I just need him to. I want him not to add to it.
Okay, okay, but that's such a low bar. I mean, I agree, but it's such a low bar. It's like, come on, you know, like, please do more than just not being an open anti-Semite, right? Like, do that. That's a good step.
I think that was the only step I want from him. Just don't be an anti-Semite yourself, because
they could put safeguards in place on X, on Twitter, to like make it harder for people to spread. You know, those things.
Those usually backfire, and I don't know.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's a more nuanced topic, but I think we both agree it's an easy stance to say, Elon, please don't be openly anti-Semitic, which
yourself, maybe.
Yeah,
that could be the minimum thing you do.
It's a very low bar.
Yeah. Anyways, let's continue.
More. All of us deserved more. Then in the middle of them oppressing us, they do these nice things, and we're supposed to.
Wait, hold on. All of us deserve more?
But at least it's something, and we're supposed to be happy with the something. And they use that to paint their legacy. Like, when I criticize Trump, people will say, well, Trump got his stimulus checks. It's like, I'm glad that we got those, but we deserved more. All of us deserved more.
You know how she was talking about white people thinking like they're entitled?
Huh. Wait, are you?
I've
Oh my gosh.
this not am I understanding the definition of the word entitled correctly
You know,
to think that this is an example of being entitled?
it's hard to say, Armin. It's hard to
Okay.
say
It's hard to say.
because I'm white. I'm so narcissistic. I don't know that I could give a proper answer, but I would.
No.
It kind of feels like you're right. It kind of feels
Yeah,
like you're
okay.
right.
I was
Yeah.
thinking, sorry. I just wanted to check because you're as a white person, I think you're an expert in being entitled.
Yes.
So I was just checking
Yes,
with
of
you
course.
if this is okay. Okay. All right. Let's continue.
In the middle of them oppressing us, they do these nice things and we're supposed to be happy with them for some reason. Difficulty taking criticism. I feel like those of us who are from marginalized communities, we experience this a lot on an interpersonal level. And we see it when big things happen in the world and we're critical of our government, of different systems that are put in place to keep us safe or provide for the people. When we're critical of the villain system, suddenly we're the villains. This is also because whiteness thinks it's at the pinnacle of self-awareness, of intelligence. It thinks that it's the standard. They're beyond reproach. As Black and brown people, we're criticized constantly. So we have so much awareness of.
It's amazing. So she thinks that you should just accept what they're saying. Right, so you look
to
at this.
Keep us safe or provide for the people. When we're critical of the villain system, suddenly we're the villains.
When you get responded, when you criticize, you get a response.
It's also because whiteness thinks it's at the pinnacle of self-awareness, of intelligence. It thinks that it's the standard. They're beyond reproach. As Black and brown people, we're criticized constantly. So.
Sounds like you can't take criticism. Obviously, everybody who says anything will be criticized. So you're like, oh, we're criticized constantly. It seems like you're the one specific. Again, when I say you're, I'm not talking about Black and brown people. I'm specifically talking about her,
this individual,
and people who think like her. Okay,
right.
So please don't think I'm talking about Black people or brown people. I'm talking about her, right? So it seems like you are the person who can't take criticism, and you think that when you say something, there, if you hear a response, that means that they can't handle a criticism. No, we're not just gonna be silent. Like, if you criticize me, I have a response. I can talk back. What again? This is again goes back into my explanation of why these people want full submission, because anything other than total acceptance of everything she says means that you cannot take criticism. That's how she defines it.
Yeah, and again, just another strange thing here. I just don't understand where she said when we criticize, she starts bringing up criticizing the government, and this whole video is about white supremacy relating to the Israel-Palestine current issue going on. Right. Okay, and she brings up criticizing the government as an example. How are you criticizing the United States government? Are you saying the white people in power screwed everybody over, those dirty, dirty white people? Is that how you're criticizing the government? Because then I would understand why people have a little bit of a hard time taking that criticism, right? If what you're saying, though, is, hey, the Joe Biden administration hasn't done enough to stand up for the human rights of Palestinians, that's a bit different of a criticism, right? So it's like, how are you criticizing this government where you're getting these responses, you know? Because again, if you just go, the white American government sucks, I understand why some white people may not be particularly fans of that take, right? That's not, right. Is that crazy? No. Is that ridiculous?
No. But look, Zaid is actually summarizing this very well. Zaid is saying it's amazing how can someone spew so much racism while accusing others of racism. Yeah.
Zaid, if you're white, you can't have that stance. I just want to let you know. I don't know, but if
He's-
you are white, you can't take that.
He's not
stance.
white. He's not
Okay,
white.
good.
He's
Good
not
for you,
white.
Zane.
Okay.
Good.
Good job not being white, because that's bad.
We're joking, YouTube. We're
Okay.
joking, YouTube.
You were joking.
Come on, they're
But
not going to strike
again,
us for that. They don't care. They don't care. We can
oh
make
yeah,
fun of
you're
white
right.
people.
Actually, we can be racist against white people. YouTube
Yes,
has no
yes,
problem with that.
exactly.
Actually, but here's the thing: is so she says like things like whiteness makes you narcissistic, right? And you saying, well, hold up, that seems racist, means that you cannot take criticism. That's basically the summary of what we've heard so far. Okay, I understand. I understand now. Okay, let's continue.
So we have so much awareness of everything that's wrong with us.
Oh, like we have, look at the, like, amazing. Look at the country. Look at the lack of self-awareness here. Listen.
It thinks that it's the standard.
Look.
We're critical of the villain system. Suddenly we're the villains. This is also because whiteness thinks it's at the pinnacle of
Whiteness thinks that it's at the pinnacle. Now listen to the rest.
Self-awareness, of intelligence. It thinks that it's the standard. They're beyond reproach. As Black and brown people, we're criticized constantly. So we have so much awareness.
We have so much awareness
of everything that's wrong with us.
We have so much awareness of everything that is wrong. Like, you understand the lack of self-awareness?
It thinks that it's the standard. They're beyond reproach. As Black and brown people, we're criticized constantly. So we have so much awareness of everything that's wrong with us and our communities. But if you do that to whiteness, you're a terrorist. Next, we have that they depend on nostalgia to
I really don't understand how she said all of that, right? Like, I know this is a TikTok video, so I know it like, you know, maybe took a little time to film and edit and all that stuff. So maybe like she forgot that she said that at the beginning of that sentence. But it's really weird. It's really weird to be like, you think you're so super duper self-aware, and that just makes you a jerk. But me, on the other hand, I know everything about what's going on. It's just, it's a really odd statement, you know? I'm not saying it's technically untrue. I'm just saying it's a really weird statement. It doesn't make you look super great, I think.
Yeah. Lack of self-awareness, I was called.
And we see this a lot at like the Olympics and different sporting events. Like, they want us to remember how great it is to be an American. Whiteness also loves
It is great to be an American. What are you talking about?
Also,
like, you're lucky to be an American. Go ahead.
I mean, yes, I totally, but also like, she picked the one thing. She picked the one thing that is specifically about national pride. She picked the Olympics. The Olympics is entirely about a country putting out their best people to like really show out and be like, look how great it is to be from the UK. Look how great it is to be from China. Like, everybody does this. This is not a white thing. Of course, America goes strong when they go to the Olympics, just like every other country in the world. Does that mean they're all narcissistic white supremacists? Like Nigeria puts out a team. Like,
exactly. So basically, what you're saying is three different points. Okay, first of all, every country at the Olympics tries to go show how great it is to be that country. That's the entire point of the Olympics, right? So it's not just America, it's China, it's Nigeria, it's Iran, it's Israel, it's every country, right? So it's weird that she's pointing at America, but it's weird that she picks America as a country to show how great it is and associate that with whiteness acting like they're great.
Right.
America is a country of many different ethnicities. In fact, one of the great things about America is that different people of different ethnicities have the same rights. Unlike many other countries in the world where you don't have that, you have equal rights in United States where you get to enjoy equal opportunities regardless of your race. That's a great thing about America. So I don't know why it seems pretty racist. Is she saying America is a white country? Because that seems to me like it's actually white supremacy. She's managing to be a white supremacist not acknowledging how much Black people are part of the United States, how much Spanish people are part of the United States, how much they contributed, how much they made this country great, how much they're part of America as well. Black, Spanish, Mexican, Latino, like many other Arabs, Kurdish people, Persian people. They're all Americans. So somehow she's ignoring everything about America other than the white part of it for some reason. And the third thing I want to mention, go on.
No, you finish. You finish.
No, last thing is America is a great country. I mean, how ungrateful do you have to be? If she's an American citizen, she is enjoying more rights and more freedoms than many other people, than most other people on the planet, because she's an American. How could you not recognize how great it is to be an American? You should appreciate that. And guess what? There are a lot of Black people that contributed to America being this great. So not only you're being ungrateful of being an American citizen, you're also being ungrateful to all the Black people in history that contributed in getting America where it is right now. But anyways.
Yeah, it just...
Yeah, what do you...
No, I just, because it just struck me when you said that last point, and it's just like, again, the specific example that she brought up was the Olympics, which is really weird,
right?
Because out of all the countries who bring teams to represent them, the number one most diverse team consistently is the United States of America. Every other country, it's like just an Italian, just an Italian, just an Italian, just an in the American team, in the USA Olympics team, we are constantly putting foreign-born representatives on our team. We are constantly bringing people from other backgrounds and saying, oh my gosh, you're an American just like us. Thank goodness you're an American. You're part of our team. Let's put you front and center. It's just really, really strange. We even in the two, because I just wanted to check this out, because I was like, man, this is weird. I just need to check this out. In 2008, the American Olympic team for the Summer Olympics, our flag bearer was an individual named Lopez Lomong, who was a refugee from Sudan, brought to America in 2001. So again, it's just another weird thing that she brought up the Olympics when it literally goes against every point she's bringing up. The United States Olympics team is one of the most diverse teams in the Olympics. It's just, but that's white. That's perpetuating white supremacy, Armin. That's what it's doing.
Right.
You know
what this reminds me of? A lot of woke people hate their country in Western countries. They hate Western countries, including their own countries. So these people hate America. These are Americans that hate America. And a lot of people who hate their own countries are people who hate themselves. So while I agree that white supremacy and Black supremacy and Arab supremacy, it's all about a big part of it is narcissism, right? But on the other side of it, a lot of woke ideology is about self-hatred. You hate your identity, you hate your country, you hate what your country stands for. And this, just like that level of narcissism is harmful to a nation and to an entire group of people, this level of self-hatred is also very destructive. Not acknowledging, if you don't see the faults of your country, that's one problem that a lot of far-right people have. A lot of far-right people don't acknowledge all the faults and all the problems with their country. But on the woke side, you have people that don't acknowledge all the great things and all the achievements and all the rights and all the freedoms that the country brings and all the opportunities that their country brings.
That's a really good. That's a really good comparison. Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah, I like that. That's a good comparison, man.
Yeah. All right, let's
to
continue.
use nostalgia to fearmonger, because when we're afraid, they're able to control us. The willingness to exploit is what they do best. To even survive in capitalism, which serves whiteness, you have to be willing to exploit. Like, that is part of it. The reason why so many of us are okay with the exploitation of others, it's because we're being exploited ourselves. Next, they like to rewrite history once you leave. The US likes to rewrite history as it's happening. Whiteness and narcissism takes the person who's the victim and paints them as bad, or they paint the villain.
I wonder if, just because it's a really good point, Armin, that she's making, white people just constantly rewrite history to make themselves look good, you know, because of their white supremacy and narcissism. I wonder if there's any examples of, say, like non-white people from history rewriting history purposefully to make themselves look good. Like, I wonder if there's any examples from, like, say, I don't know. Just as an example, like, say, the Chinese Empire or the Islamic Empire or the Russian Empire or everybody else in history. I wonder if there's any examples of non-white people doing this.
You're kind of correct.
Okay.
You're kind of correct. I will make it more correct. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, please help me.
The examples you gave, they do that. Okay. The Islamic Republic of Iran does that. Putin does that. The Chinese government does that. They try to rewrite history as a way to make themselves look better. Okay. But it's not everyone else. The problem is that those are the people who do it, but the countries that she's referring to, they don't actually do that. She says white countries, which I think it's insulting. I say she's talking about Western countries, right? Western countries actually are the most self-critical when it comes to writing their history. If you look at like European countries and North American countries, when they are analyzing their history compared to other countries, they are the most self-critical. In fact, sometimes they're obsessed with being critical more than other countries. If you go into the United States, you look at the historians in the United States and Canada and European countries, they're constantly looking for ways to blame them or condemn themselves for the crimes they've committed and apologize for all the crimes they did in history. It's completely it's completely backwards. You don't see that in Russia. You don't see that in China. You don't see the Islamic Republic of Iran do that. But you do see United States do that constantly. You do see that in Canada. You do see that in France. France is constantly doing that. Germany is obsessed with doing that.
These are just white supremacist talking points, Armin. That's what this is. You're just gaslighting us. We don't have.
Yeah. in fact, Germany, the reason why Germany is obsessed with supporting Israel is because it's critical of its own history. Because it sees itself as responsible for what happened to the Jews.
Anything in particular that they focus on, that they really are super duper critical? Anything that, like, say they passed laws to make it mandatory for every citizen in Germany to be educated on? Anything in particular you can think of that they're super duper critical? Anyway. Yeah, it's not like we have literal.
I can't put my finger on it, but yeah,
it's not like we have literal libraries worth of white historians and scholars, which is stupid anyway to bring up white historians, white scholars, like, but like, not that we have like scores of libraries of just people being like, look at all the bad stuff we did in our history. Look at all the bad stuff. Like, it's just,
they're taking down statues. You're right. Like he is pointing out, like in the United States, they're going out there taking down statues.
The real white supremacists are pissed off about that right now, about the fact that we're taking down the statues. So it's like,
amazing how backwards it's amazing how it's completely the opposite of what she's talking about.
It's a bummer.
Anyways.
Good. They'll say things like, but my family was nice to their slaves. Like, they were nice slave owners. They lied.
What? Who says that? Who, again, this is what I'm talking about. It's like, is she talking to just the absolute bottom of the barrel intelligence?
Yeah.
Like, who is she engaging with? Where somebody
all white people say this is what you secular rarity, you don't know understand. This is what white people say. White people in general, we're like, hey, my ancestors were good slave owners. You know who actually says that? You know how actually says that? Many Muslims, right?
Oh.
When you're like, yeah, because you point in Islam has slavery. Islam has slavery in the Quran and in the Hadith. You know, but you know how they explain why that's not bad. You know, the fact that Muhammad had slaves. You know how that's excused away, but like it wasn't as bad as the North Atlantic slave trade. They weren't treating the slave like chattel. So the argument that she's making is literally that is the Islamic defense for Islamic slavery.
Yeah. Also, there's
this
not
is
anything,
exactly what they say.
There's also there's not anything. There's not like any quotes or stories about Muhammad where he specifically makes reference to like darker skinned slaves being like lesser than lighter skinned slaves. There's not anything in there, is that?
There's
that
hadith some of that. Yeah, but let me top that. Let me actually top that because this actually brings everything together. Okay, Muhammad, the seerah of Muhammad, the official seerah of Muhammad tells you that Muhammad, when he ethnically cleansed an entire Jewish tribe and killed more than 700, between 700 and 900 Jewish men in one day, what he did to the Jewish children, according to Islamic seerah, is that he sold the Jewish children into slavery, right? So it's amazing how she's talking about slavery and he's talking about Jews not being victim and not acknowledging these existing within Islamic culture, the Islamic ideology. All of it is comes together in this seerah of Muhammad. The fact that he sold Jewish children, Muhammad sold Jewish children into slavery. So this story contradicts everything she says, including Jews not being actually Jews, which he refers to as white people, not being victims.
I just want to say, Armin, and I just want to say, okay, and I mean this lovingly, I'm trying to help you. You're sounding a little white right now.
You
might want to.
I'm trying.
You might want to watch that.
Is it working?
You might want to.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to watch that. That's what I'm waiting for. I am.
Hang on. Let me call the rest of the council. Hey guys,
notice
he's one of us. He's one of us now.
Notice me, master. Please, I'm trying my best here.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay.
All right. Not working. Do you not approve? Okay.
It's so dumb how easily everything she is saying is just like, wait a sec, that's wrong. Like I wish she would have tried harder because oh my gosh. Oh, what a great way for me to wake up this morning. What a great video for me to start my day with. All right.
Use the victim and paints them as bad, or they paint the villain as good. They'll say things like, but my family was nice to their slaves. Like they were nice slave owners. They lie to create the narrative that they want. Even the amount of celebrities and public figures and politicians who will try to act as if they were pro-Palestine the whole time, there will be so many over the next 5 years. This is why one of the best things that we can do is simply remember Amy Schumer. Remember Selena Gomez. Remember these people who are being...
Remember Chicago BLM tweeting a picture of a paraglider the day after Hamas and Palestinian jihad slaughtered Israeli civilians with genocidal intent. Remember Chicago BLM tweeting out a picture of a paraglider saying, I stand with Palestine. And then when getting asked to clarify, they doubled down and stood with the genocidal people. Remember, I agree. This is the first thing I wholeheartedly agree with her on. Remember, folks, remember that.
Yeah.
Don't forget, because 5 years from now, there will be people who will say, no. I didn't stand with Hamas. No. I didn't support genocide. You did.
Perfect.
So don't forget.
Good point. Yeah. By the way, it seems like my efforts are working. Hammers is saying, "Welcome to the white family, Armin. You will receive cases of mac and cheese and beer." Okay.
I mean, not wrong. Not wrong.
I'm
Not
pretty
wrong.
sure this is not what I signed up for. Again, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I'm pretty sure white people have much more to offer. I require French cuisine. I do not want mac and cheese. I want French cuisine. Thank you very much.
So you got it. This is the problem.
And wine.
Want to be
high quality wine.
If you want to be white, Armin, you got to take the good and the bad. Okay, you got to take it all, man. You get the French cuisine and you get the ramen noodles. Like it's.
Okay, I will start with lower quality white people, and I'll work my way up to French and Italian tier eventually.
Let me bring you to a trailer park, bro. Come on, man. Come on down. We go.
Okay, I'll start with the trailer park, and then eventually make my way into a French restaurant or something.
This whole stream is just. Oh my god. Okay.
Okay, not that kind of. I didn't mean that kind of French. But okay, so we'll get you French. Okay. All right. Let's continue.
Horrible. We know that they're going to try to rewrite history. This was something that was actually studied by Dr. Carl C. Bell back in the 70s. He was a Black psychologist who wrote about the links between narcissism and racism. He talked about whether or not racism is just an expression of narcissism.
I'm sure it is. But all forms of racism.
Yeah,
all forms of racism.
Right. Yeah. It's not specific to any one group. Anybody that's racist.
It's almost racist to say it's only specific to white people.
I mean, it would kind of be the textbook definition. Yeah. Now that you said it, because if I said it, that'd be racist because I'm white.
Yeah.
But if you say it,
you should just. I mean, technically, as soon as you open your mouth, you're being racist because
it's really hard. It's really tough.
Have you not done enough? Have you not already said enough? White people have been expressing themselves throughout history. You just need to shut up now and let other people do the speaking. So just technically, even opening your mouth is racism.
That's true. That's true. I mean, it's about time we whites, recognized how problematic we are. Just as a group inherently.
You're still talking. You're still talking. You're just. I don't understand.
Digging that hole.
Don't understand.
Digging that hole.
You seem not to understand, sir. Why are you still talking?
Well, I think the best thing I could do is just shut up and not give my opinions. Yeah, I think no, I appreciate it. Honestly, I appreciate that criticism. It's because if I didn't take that criticism, Armin, it's just my victim complex.
Right.
That's coming through. It's just yeah. Jesus Christ. That was great. Okay. That was a great video. Yeah. I mean, it's impressive to be that badly wrong, to have that bad of a take consistently. You would think at some point throughout that video that an individual would at least get more things correct, but no, not the case this time. So
anyway, we tried. Anyway, guys, make sure you like the stream, and please make sure if you think we're doing anything that is valuable, please recommend this channel to as many people. We need your support. We need you to go out and tell people to come and subscribe to Atheist Republic. And I'm gonna try to do a lot more live streams. So please make sure you hit the bell notification, because that's the only way YouTube will tell you when we're going live. So make sure you do that. And also leave a comment after the stream is over. The comments really help us grow the channel. I appreciate all the support. Anyways, so people are saying I laughed so hard today. I need to go to prepare for my next stream. People are saying it was a great stream. In Persian, people are watching from Iran saying it was great, or speaking Persian. Anyways, guys, look at this. I sent this channel to as many BLM videos today as I could. Okay.
Heck yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for spreading the words. Yeah. Oh, we should do the Assalamu alaikum. Okay. Till next video. Oh, you get that. Yes.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum.